If your project keeps growing, has multiple phases, or feels like it will never end, you might not be managing a project at all. You might be managing a program. And not recognizing that early on can lead to burnout, confusion, and missed opportunities. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Katie Linder, a certified project manager, change manager, and coach who works full-time leading and supporting teams in higher education. On this channel, I offer real-world examples of how project management translates into the higher ed environment. If you're looking for ways to use project management tools and skills, both professionally and personally, to bring more ease to your work and life, you're in the right place. In this video, we're breaking down how to recognize when a project has grown into a program and why that distinction matters. In higher education, this happens all the time. We start with what looks like a manageable initiative, and before we know it, we're coordinating multiple teams, timelines, and deliverables over a period of years. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll also get some bonus information about how projects and programs compare to portfolios, so stay tuned for that. Let's start with the basics. What are some definitions of projects versus programs? A project is temporary. It has a clear start and end date, a defined scope, and produces a specific outcome, like launching a new website, designing a course, or implementing a new advising tool. A program, on the other hand, is a coordinated group of related projects that are managed in a centralized way. Programs are strategic and often aligned with long-term institutional goals. Think of a student success initiative that includes new advising models, faculty development, software implementation, and assessment planning, all under one umbrella. The confusion often comes because the work starts as a project and then it expands. So how can you tell if you're actually managing a program? Here are some common signs. First, you'll have multiple teams and work streams. If your project involves academic affairs, student affairs, IT, and institutional research, that's probably a program. Second, you'll have no clear end date. If you're struggling to define when the work is done, that's a red flag. Programs are often ongoing or evolve in phases. Third, you need steering committees or governance. Projects might need stakeholder input, but programs usually require higher level coordination and oversight. Fourth, the scope keeps expanding. You started with one deliverable, but now you're supporting additional departments or goals that weren't part of the original plan. And finally, there's ongoing funding or staffing. If you're securing annual funding, hiring long-term staff, or assigning ongoing roles, that's a strong indicator of a program. So why does this distinction matter? Well, higher ed loves to start small and then think big, but that does come with some risks. For example, misidentifying a program as a project leads to under-resourcing. You'll underestimate time, staffing, and support that's needed to be successful. A second risk is that you may lack the visibility or authority to manage a cross-functional effort effectively if it's still framed as a one-off project. Another risk is that you're more likely to experience scope creep, missed deadlines, or team burnout if the work isn't structured correctly from the start. To mitigate these risks, framing your work as a program can help set expectations appropriately for timelines, outcomes, and evaluation. Let's talk about what to do if you realize that you're managing a program. If you're midstream and suddenly realize, oh no, this is not just a project, here's how to pivot. First, develop a program charter. This is just like a project charter, but for the whole body of work. This helps align stakeholders, define scope boundaries, and set a vision. Second, create a project portfolio. Start by breaking the larger initiative into individual projects, each with its own team, timeline, and deliverables. This makes the work more manageable and measurable. Third, establish governance. You may need a steering group or leadership committee to ensure alignment across the program and help with decision-making. Fourth, visualize the program roadmap. Use tools like Gantt charts, dashboards, or even a simple table to show how all the pieces connect. I'll link to a previous video on Gantt charts in the description below if you want to check it out. And finally, you'll want to track interdependencies. Make it clear which work streams are dependent on others so you can manage timelines and risks effectively. Now that you know how to distinguish between a project and a program, let's zoom out even further because there's one more layer to understand: portfolios. A portfolio is the highest level view. It includes all the projects and programs within a department, division, or institution that are aligned with strategic goals. While projects deliver specific outcomes and programs coordinate related projects, a portfolio helps leaders prioritize, fund, and evaluate the full range of initiatives happening across an organization. In higher ed, this might look like a strategic planning portfolio that includes major programs like student success or digital transformation, each with its own set of projects. This can also be a division-level portfolio, such as in academic affairs, where you might house curriculum redesigns, new assessment systems, and faculty development programs. When you understand how your project or program fits into a broader portfolio, you can make more informed decisions, advocate for resources, and align your work more effectively with institutional priorities. For leaders, managing by portfolio means evaluating which projects are most impactful, which ones are at risk, and how to balance capacity across your teams. When you start to see the signs that your project has evolved into a program, or that your program is part of a larger portfolio, it's a sign that you're moving into more strategic territory. These distinctions help you right-size your planning, engage the right stakeholders, and ultimately lead with more clarity and confidence. Have you ever worked on a project that ended up being part of a bigger program or even a portfolio? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you managed that shift. And if this video was helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.